Welcome back to DRG and welcome back to a engineer guide for you guys that wants to run a good solo build with fast clearing speed in case you need to get your assignments or whatever done. We're going to start over here at the equipment terminal. There we go. And we're going to look at what I suggest for the engineer. Let's just get back out here. This is the general layout that I suggest for you guys. We're just going to quickly run over each of the upgrades for the build as we proceed through this guide, and then we will finally just have a look at what this build can actually do in a solo mission. So we're just going to take it for a spin and see what we can get done. I want to start out by covering all of the weapon layouts, and then we're just quickly going to jump to the platform gun afterwards, because the platform gun is sort of where the money is at with this build. I also like to refer to this build as a parkour build because you can use your platforms to very quickly proceed through maps, and I'll also throw in some tips on how you can actually cheat the gun just a little bit to make it shoot both faster and reload faster than the game otherwise intended for it to do. But more on that later. Let's start with the guns. First of all, we have the Warthog Auto 210 shotgun. This shotgun will be your main weapon for the missions. The Stubby Voltaic SMG is not a weapon that I recommend because I more consider this weapon to be a support weapon at the end of the day, because we have a chance to electrocute enemies with this weapon. Why that is a thing that I want to mention is not really important for the video. Just don't go with it for solo missions, because you're going to lose out on a lot of damage with it. This weapon uses lightning damage, and some mobs actually are resistant to lightning damage, and right now there are no mobs that take extra damage as lightning damage. So at the end of the day, it's just some physical damage, some lightning damage, and some mobs will resist it. So I don't personally really like it, which is why I want to go with a Warthog instead. But for the Warthog, we have a bit of upgrades here. What I personally like to do is go for overclocking here. So it fires faster, combine that with the minor adjustments, which makes it fully automatic with an increased rate of fire. These two together will make the gun fire very quickly, which is nice. And then besides that, we have decreased shot spread and we have recoil damper. And these two in combination means that we can actually focus fire on a lot of enemies, even from afar, with a weapon that fires very fast and with little recoil, so we don't have to really focus on our aiming as we shoot. Finally, we go for tungsten-coated buckshots in order to shred off armor from our enemies. This is my personal layout. There are definitely other ways to go about it. You can also go for a more magazine size based build, where you just go for increased clip sizes all the way down here, and then you can go for loaded shells as well, which will give you like harder hits with each of them. You will, in my opinion, have to get your enemies just a little bit closer to make it effective, but for now I think this is a pretty good starter layout for you. Moving on to the grenade launcher, which is the one that I suggest you guys to use here. The breach cutter is also, it's a really good weapon. Like it deals so much damage to Praetorians, to Oppressors, to Dreadnoughts even. But for this specific build, the reason that I want to run this is that we have the stun here in the Concussive Blast, and I actually think it's a very good stun for when you are playing solo missions, because if you need to get out of hairy situations, this weapon will help you do so. Besides that, we're going to run Fragmentary Shell, and this means that we will get increased damage radius. Besides that, we also need the larger payload, meaning more bang for the buck, increases damage done with the area of effect. A nice little combination there. And then finally the pressure wave, which means that you will take off more armor with the gun. I think you get like 400% extra armor shredding, 500% actually. So pretty good armor shredding right there indeed. And then the last one, Spiky Grenade, deal damage on direct impact, so that we can clear mobs faster rather than the proximity trigger. And then before we get to the gun platform turret, I just quickly want to cover the platform gun, because that one is really essential for this build. What we want to go for here is high capacity magazine, so we get 8 shots per magazine. This one is quite important when we do the parkouring, that we don't have to stop and reload every 4 shot. And then we have Plascrete MK2, which is shock absorbing compound that reduces fall damage, because every once in a while, even me that has played this build for quite some time, I still fall down. So it's a good thing to have, and also in case you gotta escape quickly, you can just jump over a ledge, drop a platform below, and you're safe to go. Expanded ammo packs as the final one, and the reason that we use this is simply just to bring as much ammo as possible, so that we don't have to call in too many supply drops, because we will be chewing through a lot of platforms with this build. But it also makes the overall game much faster paced. The other one is repellent additive, and there is actually also a build with this that is super nice, but we're gonna cover that in another video. So for now, just go with the expanded ammo bag. For our gun turret, the gun turret will be using these 4 upgrades. It is kind of not very important if you go for 2 or 1, but I find that in solo missions you'll have plenty of nitro for yourself. 2 turrets will chew through ammo very, very quickly, so do keep this in mind. But for a solo mission, there will be plenty of ammo available for you. So I usually like to go for 2, as you can cover more area with these 2 turrets, and you can sort of play more freely as the engineer, while your turrets take care of most of whatever threats are coming towards you. Then we also go for expanded ammo bags with this build, because this just helps you so much with the ammo for these turrets. As I said, they chew through a lot, and stun once again, so the turrets can help you get out of any sort of trouble you may get into. And then finally, defender system. So I like to put up 2 turrets in different positions so that they can sort of cover each other's blind angles, and then you actually got the map covered very well, and while you also get a pretty decent damage output from this one. And that's pretty much it. There is only to say the plasma burster is what I also like to go for, because it helps you clear the mobs quicker than compared to the lure. The lure is very good if you're unsure if you can make it out of somewhere, if you're unsure about you can survive swamps and stuff. The lure can really help you escape missions or situations where there are a lot of mobs on you. Besides that, the proximity mine is also an option, but I don't really like the proximity mine for solo missions, because it takes a long time to arm itself before it actually starts exploding. Therefore, the plasma burster is, in my opinion, a really, really good choice for when you get swamped by a lot of mobs and you also have an escape route available. For perks, I personally choose, especially for solo missions, I choose to run with deep pockets, simply because deep pockets helps us carry a lot of minerals, so we don't have to go deposit all of the time. This helps us play just a bit faster than we otherwise would. And second wind, since the engineer doesn't really have anything to boost their speed. For example, the scout has the grappling hook in order to, run around much quicker. We don't really have that under the engineer, but this build is again speed based, which is why we choose second wind. Thorns is going to help us massively, especially against small enemies. If we get swamped by small spiders, if we encounter a nanocyte breeder, we want to be able to kill those small annoying beasts effectively, and Thorns does just that. Hover boots is another thing that will make us survive in this build, and the reason that I use this is because if you fall down from a platform and we may not have our platform gun reloaded, then this is always a great second chance, basically. And then shielding, we absolutely do not want to use that for our solo missions. We are going to use Beastmaster. This is only if you've been promoted. Beastmaster is more of a utility than anything else, but it just really helps us in case that we actually do need an extra body as we play along. It makes life just a little bit easier, and sometimes they target Steve instead of us, so we can actually use Steve as bait rather than ourselves. Poor Steve, but it is what it is. And that is pretty much the build. When we go on solo missions, you will also have Bosco, and for Bosco I would say choose whatever you want to go for. I haven't looked too much into him, to be honest, because I find him more of a utility than anything else. And as always, before we go on a mission, just quickly want to go up here and check what kind of beer we can get. And this one actually has increased pickaxe damage. Don't really care too much about that, so we're just gonna find ourselves a mission and get started. So I did choose just a little basic Morkite mission for us here, and I'm sorry if I look or sound tired, high, out of breath, whatever. Allergies have kicked in big time right now, so that is why I'm struggling a tiny bit here as we record, but I should be getting my medicine soon, and then life will be great again. But this mission here will just be 200 Morkite and 25 Holomite, and we're gonna try to speedrun it and just see what we can actually do here as we move along. And for the portal or the platform gun here, which will be sort of our main tool, what we want to do is just try to platform quickly to any heart to get minerals and stuff like that. And I want to start out just as we get this by showing you guys the tips that I talked about previously that you can actually do with this build that will help you, for example, run up of walls and stuff like that. Let's see, where do we have Molly? Just want to get all of this deposited. But basically what we want to do here is, and I don't know if you guys know this, but if I press reload here, we used one shot. So I'm going to press reload and watch my ammo count in the bottom right corner. You see that? As soon as the ammo count hits 8, which is our full ammo, if you right click it, right as you do, then you will actually cancel the rest of the reload animation. And this is also very useful as you are laying down platforms. Let me show you here what I mean. As soon as we shoot a platform, I right click and the gun is actually ready to fire again. This means that we can ascend these walls. But you see, we can run this quite quickly, especially if we don't hit the walls here. This is like, I hate running up these walls, but it's a terrible example. Let's try that again. As you can see, we can quite quickly here just keep putting down platforms, and if we had a proper wall that we had to ascend, we'll see if we can find that later on, then trust me, it's helpful. Just wait for it, okay? We'll find a good position to do this. For now, let's just get these nitro and morkite deposited into Molly. Where did Molly go? Molly's up there. When we fight mobs with this weapon, as I said previously, as you can see here, this gun can quite effectively fire very precisely with the upgrades that we have, which is another nice that I just personally like, because it's a great quality of life improvement here when you just want to ascend a map quickly, and that sort of helps us. You see, here we go. As you can see, we can actually climb that rather quickly there with the platform gun. I just found a nice wall, so I figured I'd show you guys now. But with the gun here, we can clear mobs very efficiently without having to stress too much about focusing on our aim or anything like that, because it just fires very precisely, and it deals a lot of damage on the place that we shoot. We don't have to fear too much spread of the pellets that we shoot and stuff like that. So all in all, just a very nice, you know, solo mission weapon as we go. This mission is probably not going to be too hard, because for the viewing pleasure, I decided to just go with Hazard 2, because we kind of just wanted to show the concept. But in case we get a map like this, what I like to do with my turrets is simply just, you know, find a good high spot like this, because the turret has a very good firing angle, and maybe set up one turret in this direction and set up one turret in, for example, here we go, this direction. This covers so much of the map, and we might have a dead zone here, but we could always cover that ourselves, so we don't have to fear too much whether we'll be attacked from any angles, because the turrets will have us for the most part. Ascending with this build is quite easy too. There, we can just get those platforms down without too much hassle, and we can keep moving on here. I think I hear some enemies, don't I? Oh, and I also see some nitro. We might want to go up and get that. So let's do just that. Oh, there they are. Let's just clear those out and use our grenade launch as well, which is super effective for packs some mobs. But we can once again use our platform gun here, unless we get stuck in them. That just happens sometimes, and you're just gonna have to live with that. So yeah, it happens. There we go. Where did that nitro go? It's still all the way up there. So let's see. And you also got to pay attention to your reload, because otherwise you fall down. But I never do that, because I am stupid. I take my words of advice with a strain of salt, okay? There we go, and we are pretty much up there. So all in all, it's just, you feel very free with this build as you move through maps, and that is what I really like about it. That you can move quite freely around without fearing too much if you can get out of places, as long as you just make sure that you actually keep your ammo deposits up. But we already have more than 100 nitro here, so we can call in our first supply drop, and we have enough to fill up our inventory completely 2 times already. But let's just use these to get down and get these minerals and move on the map. All right, so we are actually going to get attacked here by a swarm. Let's set up our turrets once again, and as before, we have a map here that sort of just has, we're in the middle of a cave, so we will probably be attacked from 2 different angles, which means that I just want to set up my turrets to cover both of those angles, and they will actually take care of most things for you. Again, this is just Hazard 2, so it's not going to be any sweat to deal with these enemies at the end of the day. So we're probably going to be fine, but there are a few of them here. As you can see, turrets and Bosco, they actually quite do most of the work. The engineer is a really chill class to play, because they will deal with almost anything for you in case we actually do get swarmed. What I just like to do is usually just use our grenade launcher here to try to stun any oppressors or Praetorians coming close to you, maybe drag them away so that the turrets can shoot them in the weak parts, and meanwhile we can use our shotgun to strip off their armor, and that way stay somewhat safe. Seems like we can actually, for the most part, just proceed here, because I think it's nothing but just small swarmers attacking us. Yep, it was. So we're fine here. There we go, and get over to this. And this is just like, that's just the freedom of this build, that you can jump around like that. You don't gain in a situation like that much from platforming those few areas. We could have probably easily gotten all of that without doing so, but it just feels nice. Okay, it's just a nice little extra challenge to jump around the map as we move about here on our way. Let's try not to waste all of our ammo on killing these. There we go. And once more, and recall out sentry guns in case we need them later on. Another great thing with this, and I found a high wall here, so I hope that we can sort of prove the concept here with this, is that you can actually make staircases with your platforms. I want to try to see if we can just show how we do that with this build. But basically, if you need to climb just a wall like this and you can't really jump up of it in a spiral fashion with your platforms, what you can do here is create sort of a ladder, basically. Jump up, put a platform, step a little bit to the right side, jump up, put another platform, a little bit to the right side again, platform. This way you will actually be able to somewhat effectively jump up of these, just climb all of these like this, and you'll be able to have a very, very steep climb there with your platforms, and that way your team can easily get out of hairy situations. For example, if you have someone who falls down and maybe it's a slope that is too steep for a gunner to place down a zip line. That's just one example. But if you need that and you need to get your ally out of a low place and you want to get up higher again, this is a really nice strategy. And once again, you can do that up to 8 times in a really, really fast fashion, and your teammates can follow right behind you as you get the platforms down. So it's a very, very nice escape tool. And I think all in all, this is the nicest engineering build that I have played, or setup rather, that I have played. It just leaves a lot of utility for you, a lot of different ways that you can actually use the engineers platforms to do many different things, both for solo and for group missions. And I think it provides a different gameplay for him, other than just providing platforms for your teammates as they have to go about their business. There, let's get through here. Very nice, and we are getting quite quickly through this mission right now. So we're getting to another very nice little cave system here, and I want to bring this area up as well, because usually if you fight dreadnoughts, you'll often want to get big places like this. And what I like to do when I'm fighting dreadnoughts in areas like this is actually set up platforms on all of these pillars and stuff, because it will help you jump around while you're fighting the dreadnought and keep you alive for the most part. So let's just see, as we get out here, we can always sort of just parkour between all of these areas right here, and as you can see, we can get up a very nice set of platforms here that we can use later on as we go about our fight here with the dreadnought. So I usually just like to jump around like this, get a lot of platforms up and try not to fall down. But all of these platforms will allow you to jump around through all of these pillars as you fight the dreadnought. The reason that this is so good is because you'll have a lot of cover in case the dreadnought starts going for you. As soon as you start shooting fireballs, you want to get out of his way. And a good and nice effective way to do that is either to use the platforms as cover or to use the terrain as cover. And if you have those platforms and he runs around down here, then you'll be safe. So indeed a very good strategy in my opinion. And once again, just gonna continue doing this so that you can see that this actually works now that I am just partially warm and started with this build. There we go. It gets better with time, guys. It gets better. So let's get this, whoops, nitro as we go here. And just as I shoot those minerals, there is one more thing that I have to remember to show you guys with this build right here. And that is actually, say that we want to mine this gold over here that we have. If you're in a hurry, drop a platform, mine the platform, bam. Platforms only take 1 hit to kill. Gold and stuff, or kill, mine should I say. And platforms, or a gold takes 2 in order to take it down. So if you want to do that, you can actually always put a platform on it and you will only have to hit it once, and that makes life just a little bit easier for you. Oh, that is some detonators there. We want to watch out for those. Let's get up some turrets here. Not really the best cover that we're putting up here, but we should be fine still. There. We get the other one out here. Then we sort of have multiple angles covered. So apparently that one decided to go down. Well, fine. I'll take that. You know what? We should be fine without. Say we're getting swarmed here though. That's why this grenade is so handy. The purple grenade that we chose, which I completely forgot what is what's called right now. It is what it is. It's really good for clearing out like stacks of mobs at once, and then we can always use our grenade launcher there as a little getaway for ourselves. And here the platforms just come in so handy because we can jump between those as we try to escape the mobs here. If we feel like we're getting swarmed, we can always get away. Here we go. And I think we're safe from the mobs once again. And we made it to the bottom of our mission here, so there's only one thing left to do, and that is get out of here again. I do like to just fill up our ammo reserves here before we do so. Let's just clear out all of this stuff. There we go. That nade, by the way, hurts yourself for a lot of damage if you don't watch out, so you always do want to watch out for that. Just a few mobs there. Let's hit the button and let's get back, and let's follow each other back here as we go back, because the platform tool is just so nice to get out of situations here once you are actually done with your mission. So let's get up here and let's get our supply drop, and let's see where the drop pod lands. Another really good thing here that I just want to point out for you guys is the fact that you have to, as you see, okay, we actually have to get all the way around there. But when you use the platform gun, one very important thing is that I run my build here with sprint. I don't have that on toggle, I have it hold to sprint. And when you do that, one very important thing is that you cannot shoot. I'm clicking the button right now, but I cannot shoot because you cannot shoot while you're sprinting. So we have to stop sprinting. But you can actually negate this, and the way that you do that, oh, there is a Praetorian, that's scary, so let's stun that thing. Let's see if we can just finish that off quickly. There we go, very nice. But what you can do is that if you sprint, see there we go, second wind is up, and jump, then you can actually fire. So if you want to move quickly, then you just simply jump whenever you want to shoot. And that is also the way that you can sort of quickly get around with your platforms, you know, because you want to be as fast as possible as you go on these solo missions, and you platform around and you have complex caves and stuff, and simply just sprint and you just jump and shoot, and then you'll be able to platform very quickly. There we go, which is super dope. It just makes life so much easier instead of having to actually stop whenever you want to shoot, and then you have to wait for a second wind to sort of get back up after sprinting for X amount of seconds. And there, very nice. Whoops. I think we're safe. Yep, we are. Go through that. Don't really want to bother too much about the mobs behind us, because we don't have to fight them. We just want to get back to our dropship here. There we go. Let's see, where do we have to go? I actually think we have to go up there, but I cannot really see anything. So there, just use the previous platforms here. There we go. Nice, and no falling down or anything, and we are getting close to the drop pod, so we should be there in just a second. And there it is. There it is. Very nice, very nice. Oh, and that is Praetorian, so let's just get over this area too. And there we are. Now we just have to wait for Molly, so we might actually have to fight this Praetorian just to make sure that it doesn't take us down. There. Very nice. Not too much of a hassle with this build. But as you can see, the precision... Oh, damn it, that is an explodey boy. Let's get out of that way. There we go. But the precision on this gun is just super good when you run the increased precision and the reduced spread. You'll be able to really just put those shots wherever you want them to be, pretty much. And another stun. Slow that thing down and see if we can kill it. And also just cherish the fact that all of the armor falls off pretty much instantly, because we use the armor penetration of our weapons. There we go, and there is the drop pod, and that is the mission done, and that is also the video done. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope this was useful to you guys. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye.